So why do I ride? Wasn't obvious enough, and that's reason one. What's up, dude? If you didn't quite figure it out by now what this video is going to be about from the start of the video, I guess I'm going to kind of explain a little bit as to why I decided to get a bike and why I chose a Harley. So, a while back, me and the girlfriend were talking because I've been wanting to get something, a vehicle that's something nice. I wanted something newer. It didn't necessarily have to be brand new, but I wasn't feeling like making the $600, $700, $800 payments on a new vehicle. So we had talked about things for a little while, and we came to the compromise, I guess you could call it, of a motorcycle. There were multiple benefits to getting a motorcycle, pros and cons. The price factor was, in the discussion, number one. Again, following my whole plan of attack, I didn't want to get something so expensive, so motorcycles are quite a bit cheaper on certain levels, certain bikes. There are some bikes out there that are up in price. That was one of the big hitters for me was Harley. Heck of a lot better pricing, which meant smaller payments. Then there was the upkeep factor. The price of parts is a lot nicer. Now, granted, you're going to get a bike and you're obviously, for the most part, you're going to want to do some work to it. Different pipe, intake, several cosmetic things. And maybe some work to the engine. Other than that, for the most part, things are a lot cheaper parts-wise than compared to my F-150. Now, I will say, since I did get a Harley, if I go through Harley and get, new tires, that's pretty much about the same price for, tires that have that little Harley symbol on them as it would be for, 35-inch tires for my truck. But that's one of the cons. And then, obviously the tires aren't going to last as long as they would on a four-wheel vehicle. But, that was besides the point. And, some of the typical cons are there's the weather and blah, blah, blah. Road work stuff. This being only an 883, I don't really want to take it out on, any of the big interstates. It can do 70, 75. I don't like to make it do 70, 75. At least not like at a high constant rate. Anywho, made a big list of things that I was going to say for this video, I think about 2 days ago, and I have forgotten most of it. The vast majority of what I wrote down. For now, some of the bigger reasons as to why I wanted to get a bike. Big reason number one, I grew up around them. I grew up around, dirt bikes. Well, I guess I grew up on and around dirt bikes and street bikes. And I have been riding on two wheels for the vast majority of my life. And, as my dad, my uncle, but, so I grew up with bikes. They have been a big part of my life for my life. And it's just always been deep down in me that I need to get a bike. I needed a bike. It's in my blood. I have to ride. And, then I got one. And it's just an amazing feeling being on a bike. Well, first and foremost, riding a bike is just really cool. It makes you feel really cool. I don't know if that's just because of how they've portrayed bikers over the years, or, what it may be. But just being on a bike, it feels really cool. Now, the freedom aspect of it, there's no walls. There's nothing around you but the wind and death. That's probably not the best way to put it, but that's honesty, If you're not careful, not paying attention to things, it can go south pretty quick. Which leads me into the next one. I didn't really explain the whole freedom thing too well. You get the point. But leads me on to the next one, being that since you're trying to focus on, what you're doing, what's coming at you, what's coming up behind you. Heck, I took out a bird the other day. It smacked me in the face. There's blood all over my helmet I had to clean off. You got to watch out for that too. So it keeps your mind heavily preoccupied. Long day at work, stressed out, in any aspect, any way, hop on the bike. If you suffer from depression, from time to time I do. I hop on the bike. I don't remember what I'm depressed about. My exhaust is too loud for me to think most of the time. It feels different looking at everything than it would if you're in a car or a truck. So you appreciate everything you're looking at a lot more. So it's just soothing, calming. That was sad. And then all the wind rushing by you. Obviously, no matter what kind of helmet you have on, if you're wearing a helmet, you're going to hear it. It's kind of loud too. There's a lot of things that go on while you're riding that just calm you down. And I love it. Now the elephant in the room. Why did I get a Harley? I used to talk so much hate, so much smack on these bikes. I hated them. Hated everything about Harley Davidson. All you see is the big clunky baggers with their big old huge front bearings and their glides. Well, I guess the glides are the, you know what I'm saying. And all these ugly bikes. And for the most part, anything that wasn't a bagger was a V-Rod. Don't get me wrong, those are some pretty gnarly looking bikes. Just not my cup of tea. Not to mention, every single Harley rider is a douchebag. Or so I thought. For a while there, I was looking at, I think it was a 2007, well, I don't know. It was a 2000 something another, Honda Sabre 1300. Real nice bike. It's essentially the Fury, but different. I don't know. Had a little bit bigger of a tank, I guess. And it was a really nice bike. Went down, looked at it, played around with it for a little while, and it was a good feeling bike. I kind of liked it. And then a while back, me and a girlfriend went over to Columbus for our little dog, Willow, to get work done, or she had done work done on her leg. And we were taking her back in for, I think it was the 2-month checkup. It was a 1 or 2 month checkup, and I had noticed that there was a Harley dealership right down the road from there. So I was like, hey, why don't we go, check out the Harley shop and just, look at some bikes and see if there's anything different, bike size and kind of design and build that would be more comfortable to me or that I like better. We walked in and there's a couple decent looking bikes. There's a lot of glides, a lot of baggers, obviously. And we were talking about obviously different bikes. And I had looked up some stuff on the Sportsters, pretty much. The 883s, the 1200s, some of the Roadsters, and there were some pretty cool bikes, but I've never really checked them out, never really sat on one. Nothing. I mean, the only thing I had that I could really say of on the Sportsters, especially the 883, was from watching Blockheads videos on YouTube. And I talked about them for a little bit. So why don't you come in and check some of them out? All right, we walked over. It showed me the 1200s first, and I can't stand the look. I don't know what it is. I didn't like the regular 1200 iron. I don't know if it was the paint jobs that were on them. To me, it was just ugly. And then, right next to it was the 883. I sat down on it, and it was a pretty comfy bike. It's just kind of low, kind of like it. Not too big, because I'm not a big guy. And just like, well, fire it up. Okay. Don't gotta tell me twice. Key in, slip, start, melt. And since that day, I just, I had a thing for, I don't know, the sound. Harleys have their own sound. Every bike for the most part kind of does, but Harleys are the most distinctive sound. I mean, just it's just a cool sound. And, there was a couple bikes up there that I really liked and wouldn't have mind buying, but it was cold. It was, the end of December, I think, and I just couldn't bring myself to ride a bike back from Columbus 2.5, 3 hours home. So I spent a good bit of time looking around, as you probably should, and I had found this one. I went up one day after work, and after I went up there a couple times beforehand, looked at the bike, played with the bike, fell in love with the bike. Why is everywhere always dirty? Played around with some numbers when I got there, and came home with the bike. That's about why I ended up getting a Harley. Alrighty guys, I think it's gonna about end it for today's video. I'm sure there's probably multiple things that I've left out. No, that's kind of inevitable. But if you like the video at all, feel free to give me a thumbs up, subscribe. It'd be pretty cool. And suppose I'll catch you dudes in the next video.